Hi everyone and welcome once again to the TrainAid HQ. My name is Nick and in today's video we are going to be looking at the Level 3 Award in Education and Training, and we are going to be looking at Unit B, which is Understanding and Using Inclusive Teaching and Learning Approaches in Education and Training. So otherwise this is known as Unit B, Inclusive Practice. So we're going to be looking at inclusion. Okay, so the purpose of this video is just an assignment talk through. I'm going to be explaining about each of the assignment questions and just giving you lots of help and advice on how to answer each of the sections. So once again, if you're new to the channel, please do like the video and subscribe to our channel to get the latest and alerts and updates from the team. Okay, so we're going to begin with Unit B. And first of all, please put your name just onto your assignment template like so. Now, with our Level 3 Award in Education and Training, one of the most common questions is, what is the word count for our assignment? The suggested word count is anywhere between 2,000 to 3,000 words, but you can, of course, write as much information as you wish. Okay, so it's completely down to you, but 2,000 to 3,000 words is my suggestion here. I am going to be using the Level 3 Award in Education and Training textbook by Anne Gravels. Okay, so please use this source of information. You can, of course, use other textbooks, other websites, other journals. That's absolutely fine. And you can write in the first or the third person as well. Okay, so we're going to tackle criteria 1.1, which is describe features of inclusive teaching and learning. Okay, so what we need to do to start off this first assignment question is to define the term inclusion. So what does that mean? Okay, and within the textbook, pages 58 to 60 is going to give you some clear guidance on what inclusive learning means. Okay, so inclusive learning is about ensuring all your learners have the opportunity to be involved, to contribute, and to be included in the learning process. It's also about treating all learners equally and fairly without directly or indirectly excluding anyone. Inclusion is about attitudes as well as behavior, as learners can be affected by the words or actions of others. Okay, so in your own words and using the Anne Gravels textbook, it would be fantastic to start off this assignment with 3 to 4 lines here. What does inclusion mean to you? What is inclusion all about? Okay. So as a teacher within the classroom, it could be ensuring that all learners are involved within your activity. Everyone is perhaps asked a question. Everyone is catered for in terms of resources, support. No one is left out. So all learners are included. So just in your own words there, what does inclusion mean to you? Okay, so just following on, we would like for you to describe features of inclusion. Okay, how can a teacher or trainer create an inclusive teaching environment? Okay, now there are a number of ways that you as a teacher or trainer can promote inclusion. Okay, by promoting the use of icebreakers, individual learning plans, individual questions to learners, setting group work to make sure all learners are included, promoting the ground rules as well. Okay, the ground rules of the lesson, housekeeping, of course, very important, and also promoting a learning environment which is inclusive. So, for example, can all learners see you, the teacher? You, the teacher, can you ensure that there's a seating plan to make sure that everyone's included and that no one is left out? So after your definition of what is inclusion, a very good idea here would be to talk about these techniques of how we as teachers or trainers promote an inclusive environment. So I definitely look at textbook pages 98 to 100 for icebreakers, for individual learning plans on page 60, individual questions to learners, and also group work on pages 130 to 134, and also promoting ground rules as well. Okay, that's pages 101 to 102, and also how to promote an inclusive learning environment. So just within the textbook here, I've just got those pages there. So if I were you, I would talk about each one and how you can promote these within teaching and learning, to describe each one and how is each going to promote an inclusive environment as well. So that would be the second point I would make within this assignment to start off. Okay. Now, just on to the third key element of this assignment question, is to explain a minimum of 2 teaching and learning theories which promote inclusion. So within teaching and learning, we have a range of different theories which really do promote inclusion. So we have Maslow's hierarchy of needs. We have VARK, which was promoted by Fleming. Okay, VARK's questionnaire of 2005. We have Kolb's experiential learning cycle. We have the humanist theory promoted by Carl Rogers. And we also have Skinner's behaviorist theory as well. Okay, so please do have a look and have a read of each of the different theories. We have the page numbers there. And I would like for you to pick out perhaps 2, okay, as a minimum. And I would like for you to explain the theory. How does it relate to teaching? Okay, so for example, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So you'll see this inclusive pyramid, perhaps to describe each stage of the pyramid, but more importantly, how does it relate to teaching? Okay, and I guess most importantly is how does it promote inclusion? Okay. So do have a look at a minimum of 2 of the different theories there. So to explain each one, how does it relate to teaching? And furthermore, if you are already teaching, how does the theory relate to your current teaching practice? So do include some examples of where perhaps you've used the theory of your choice as well. Here, the suggested word count is between 200 to 500 words. You can, of course, write as much information as you wish. You might find yourself going over that limit as well, and that's not a problem. Okay, you can write in the first or the third person there. So we have our suggested structure that you can follow. And just underneath, we have just page 2 where it says, please write your assignment answer below. So you can use those bullet points as a guide and write within this section here. Okay, that is obviously optional. Okay, now we're just moving on to question 1.2, compare the strengths and limitations of teaching and learning approaches used in own area of specialism in relation to meeting individual learning needs. Okay, now have a look in your textbook on pages 109 to 124. So I'm just going to have a look at that within the textbook as well. So within the Anne Gravel's textbook, a bit of a blurry screen, but you will see that there is a table, okay, of a range of different teaching and learning approaches. So teaching and learning approaches, I like to think of these as activities set by the teacher in order to pass over information to help your learners to engage and to understand, to find out what it is that you are going to be teaching them. Okay, and as we can see, we have a table here of teaching and learning approaches. Okay, now what we'd like for you to do is to pick out some different approaches. Okay, perhaps pick out 3 different approaches. For example, you could have assignments. That could be a key approach. It could be case studies, debates, demonstration, discussion. There are a range of different approaches. So we would like for you to pick out any three, okay? And we would like for you to explain the approach. So to describe the approach, how it's used within teaching. So for example, you could talk about your own self, how you use these approaches currently or in the future as well. So we'd like for you to talk about your own self here, okay, and how these approaches apply to you. Okay, so perhaps a paragraph of information. So for example, I would put in assignments, just being an example. Let's have debates. And I would also have case studies. Okay, those would be my three, and I would expect to see a paragraph of information on each one, what they are, perhaps how they're used within teaching and training. And also we would like for you to talk about the strengths and also limitations or considerations when using each one. So it could be the strengths of assignments, debates, case studies. So please do explain. Do avoid bullet points here. Would like for you to describe two strengths and also two limitations or considerations when using that approach within your teaching. Okay, so just remember any three approaches there. So quite a nice and straightforward criteria to complete here. And once again, the suggested word count is anywhere between 200 to 500 words. You may find yourself going over that criteria, that suggested word count, and don't be alarmed by that if you do as well. Okay, so hopefully we are getting well into assignment B on inclusion. Okay, now moving on to criteria 1.3, explain why it is important to provide opportunities for learners to develop their English, mathematics, ICT, and wider skills. So these are our functional skills, okay? And ideally, within any lesson, we would like for our learners to develop their literacy, language, numeracy, ICT, otherwise known as digital skills. We use these skills day to day. Perhaps when we go out shopping, for example, when we use numeracy, when we figure out our own bills, for example, okay, we speak with a team of colleagues, we perhaps write emails. So we are using these skills, and it's good that we do keep these up to date as well. And that's what we want to promote these skills with our learners. Okay. So to get started with this assignment answer, we would like for you, in your own words, to explain why it is important for teachers and trainers to promote opportunities for learners to promote their own functional skills. So do have a look within the textbook at pages 84, okay, to 95, and you'll find a very good chapter just on opportunities for promoting English, maths, and wider skills as well. Okay, so it's very important that learners do keep current with their skills. Okay, so they're not falling behind, and they can obviously keep current. They can engage with their friends, their colleagues. Okay, so it's very important that we do keep current. We are moving. We are not leaving our key skills behind here. So I would recommend that we start off with an explanation of why it's so important. And secondly, please do include current or future teaching practice examples of how you as a teacher or trainer could promote learners' literacy, language, numeracy, and also ICT, otherwise known as digital skills, within your own subject specialism. So think about perhaps 3 or 4 ways that you can do that. So for example, we deliver first aid courses here at TrainAid. On our first aid courses, we give out learners a first aid handbook, which they can read throughout their day, and that is going to promote their literacy skills as well. So you might do the same using, for example, Kahoot, Socrative, mobile phones within the lessons is going to promote their digital skills as well. Have a look at page 87, okay, and also 89, we have a page of bullet points of ways that your learners can improve their functional skills as well. So do have a look at that page. I think you'll find it quite useful. Once again, the suggested word count is between 200 to 400 words. You can, of course, write as much information as you wish, and of course you can write within this assignment section here as well, this blank page, or if you find it easier, you can write your answers underneath the bullet points as well, to help structure your answer there. So you got a couple of options with how you present your assignments. Okay, so we're well underway with assignment B. Okay, and then we're looking now at 2.1. Explain why it is important to create an inclusive teaching and learning environment. Okay, so this is all about the reasons why it is so important. Okay, and to answer this question, we would like for you to explain a minimum of 3 reasons why it is important for teachers, trainers, to promote an inclusive teaching and learning environment. Okay, and we've just got a range of different reasons here, okay, for you to select. First of all, to promote equality and fairness. Okay, so if you have an inclusive atmosphere where everyone's opinions, values, interests are respected, there's a better group team cohesion. Learners are going to relax more, they're going to open up, and ultimately they're going to remove barriers to learning. They're going to ultimately achieve their end goal, their end qualification quicker. So if learners feel perhaps devalued, demotivated, then they're not going to achieve their course outcome or aims. And there's going to be a lot more buy-in, and there's going to be a better support for all learners if learners do feel valued as well. And of course, once again, we have different learning styles of VARC as well. So by promoting an inclusive teaching environment, if we are varied in our teaching and learning approaches, then of course we are going to promote different learning styles. Learning is going to be more interesting, it's going to be more engaging as well. And therefore, once again, there's going to be much more of a learner buy-in. Learners are going to be their attention is going to be kept for longer as well. So definitely I'd mention about having different learning styles and having a wide variety of teaching and learning approaches is going to help to keep the interest of our learners. And of course, the reputation of a teaching organization as well. So if you are an inclusive teaching and learning provider as an organization, then that's going to get better reviews, that's going to get better feedback from learners, and hopefully you know, your word of mouth, okay, is going to spread. You're going to get better interest, more reviews as an organization as well. I'd also mentioned about Maslow in there. Okay, so obviously if you are removing barriers to learning, that's promoting inclusion. So our learners are going to self-actualize, they're going to realize their full potential, and they're going to understand that they of course can achieve their end goal as well. So pick out 3 reasons why is it important to promote an inclusive teaching and learning environment. And once again, between 200 to 400 words is my suggestion. Okay, and once again, you could write your assignment answer just on the next page there, or just underneath the bullet points. The next question is 2.2. Explain why it is important to select teaching and learning approaches, resources, and assessment methods to meet individual learner needs. Okay, so we would like for you to explain 3 reasons why is it important to select and promote a variety of teaching and learning approaches, resources, and assessment methods within teaching. And also, why is it important to meet individual learner needs as well? Okay, so if you are going to use a wide variety of teaching and learning approaches and resources, it's going to keep learner motivation. It's going to keep their interest. Okay, and therefore learners are going to have much more of a buy-in. Okay, there's not going to be lots of interest within your teaching. Okay, and therefore less learners are likely to perhaps leave the teaching and learning environment. There's going to be lots of an interest there, and learners are going to be feeling a bit more relaxed as well. So I think within that answer, we'd like for you to talk about 3 ways perhaps you've encountered within your own teaching as well. So think about how you perhaps might use games, quizzes, you might use competitions to promote enthusiasm here. That's another key reason why it's important to select a variety, that teaching doesn't become boring or stale. And of course, you can talk about your own experiences here. So do have a look, okay, at your previous assignment, and perhaps have a look at the resources that you have explained already. Once again, a suggested word count is between 200 to 400 words there. Okay. Now we're looking at just about motivation next. So 2.3 is to explain ways in which we as teachers and trainers can engage and motivate learners. Okay. So we're looking at perhaps a minimum of 5 different ways that you as a teacher or trainer can motivate learners. So we just have a range here. We have to promote games, activities, quizzes, um, by having perhaps a competitive element within your teaching, and having rewards and prizes. This is going to generate an interest in your lessons. It's going to be a bit more of a buy-in. I know from my previous teaching within a college setting, by having interactive games, quizzes on mobile phones such as Kahoot and Socrative, that does gauge learner interest. But having just a passion and enthusiasm for your subject area is going to be infectious, okay? By having a smile on your face and just saying this lesson is going to be fantastic. You are going to look forward to this lesson. It's going to rub off on learners. I always think having a current knowledge as well of your subject area, so an up-to-date subject knowledge, is going to help to motivate learners. So keeping track of your subject area, perhaps what's happening within the news, for example, is going to really sort of help learners to have that buy-in with you as a teacher. I think other key areas is to provide learners with targets, to provide them with direction on how they could perhaps improve their practice, okay, and perhaps improve their skill set is key, and also rewarding learners as well. So this could be perhaps a letter home, say very well done. It could be a tangible prize. It could be vouchers. I always think rewards are important if it's something to do with your subject area. For first aid, for example, we often give out such as freebies, such as keychains with pocket masks within. Okay, so something to do with your subject area, I think, is important. Okay, and in terms of this subject, in terms of this assignment, we're looking for perhaps a word count between 200 to 400 words here, just to say why it's important to engage and motivate learners, but also perhaps I'd say 5 ways here that you as a teacher can engage and motivate learners. And once again, a suggested word count are between 200 and 400 words there. Okay. As we're coming to the very much the tail ends of this assignment, we would like for you to now to summarize ways to establish ground rules with your learners. Okay, so within the textbook, have a look at page 100 to 102. Okay, and we will see we have ground rules there. Okay, so ground rules are boundaries and rules which are used to help to create suitable conditions within which learners and yourself can work safely and learn. So ground rules should underpin appropriate behavior and respect for everyone in the group, including yourself, and ensure the lesson runs smoothly. Okay, for every course, every lesson, the teacher should be communicating ground rules, and ground rules should be laid out. Okay, even if it's a one-day course that you're delivering, or perhaps a year-long course. Okay, so you're having a longer relationship with your learners. There should be ground rules. Okay. And ground rules are there to promote mutual respect between yourself and your learners. Okay. And it just means that everyone understands what are the rules, how everyone should communicate with each other, and perhaps rules such as mobile phone use, tea breaks, for example. All of that is going to be communicated. So mutual respect, of course, is going to be a key hallmark on why ground rules are important. Okay. And also, when should ground rules be created? Ground rules should, of course, be created at the start of a course. Okay. And you could do this together as a group activity, perhaps as an icebreaker activity as well. It's very difficult once your course is started to establish ground rules later on. We should communicate these ground rules very much at the start. They are otherwise known as a classroom contract. So you can, of course, get learners to write down these agreed rules and get perhaps all learners to sign this ground rules sheet to come up with a bit of a contract. I've done that within my college teaching days as well. And it's very powerful having this ground rules list, and it's there for all learners to see. But in terms of this assignment answer, the suggested bullet point, I would say, is to explain the term ground rules within education and training, explain why ground rules are important within teaching and training. When should ground rules be created? And finally, of course, include any teaching examples where you have implemented or set your own ground rules as well. So that is optional. Once again, we're looking for between 200 to 400 words for this assignment question. Okay. Wow. So that is Unit B that has come to a close. And we have our learner reflection section as well. So please do write a paragraph of what you have learned or refreshed from this unit. So this unit is all to do with inclusive practice. So do talk about what you've learned and how might what you've learned today influence your future teaching as well. Okay, so do go for a paragraph of information there. The textbook, okay, we of course used the Anne Gravel's textbook here. The reference is already put in for you. But if you've used any other textbook or website, please do add that to our list as well, and do use the Harvard reference system there. Once again, please do send your assignments to the submissions team, submissions@train-a.co.uk. The team work to 5 working days, and they'll of course let you know if you've got any corrections or if you've passed your assignment, hopefully first time. But if not, don't worry, they will give you feedback. And of course, please write your name and also the date of submission as well. And there you have it, folks. Okay, so that is our assignment template. And just remember, you can write as much detail as you wish. Once again, the suggested word count is between 2,000 to 3,000 words. Any questions, please do get in contact with the team, either over the phone or simply just drop us an email as well. So hopefully this video has been useful. Do have a look at Unit C and also our Micro Teach video playlist as well. So have a look at those videos, and hopefully you can obviously like the video and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and stay tuned for some more videos from the team. Okay, folks, bye for now.